Hey guys, welcome to the annual review of the channel, where we kind of go over how we did in the last year, where we're going, stuff like that. I do these once a year, right around New Year. My name is Ron Heiler. If you've never been here before, welcome to the channel. If you have been here before, welcome back. So we'll get right into it. I never know what to do with my hands when I'm doing these things because I don't have a controller in my hand, so. But we'll manage. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at how we did for the year. So let's take a quick look at our channel, and we'll go to analytics, and we'll go through and see how we did in 2020. So if we go by views, I'm going to set this to yearly, and we'll go through lifetime and see how we did. Okay, so as we have in every single year that this channel has been active, we started in 2014, partway through 2014, or most of the way through 2014 we started. I have gone up. Last year, when we went from 2018 to 2019, we did go up, although it was really pretty flat. This year, we actually increased another 20,000 about. These numbers are pretty close to correct. As I record this, it is now December 30th, so there's going to be a couple of days missing off of this. It'll jump up a little bit, but not very much. I mean, it's basically right where it is. So in terms of views, we actually rose quite nicely this year. So that's pretty good. If we go to watch time, take a look at our watch time for this year, same thing. We've gone up every single year, even this year where it was kind of flat. I think this went up. I lost my numbers. Where did they go? There they go. 86.60 to 86.68. So they did go up. It was pretty flat, but we actually went up in 2020. So pretty nice. We went up to about another 2,000 hours. So that's pretty awesome. We're doing fine in terms of watch time by hours. So that's no complaints there. Subscribers. For some reason, YouTube has lost some data in subscribers. This wasn't the case last year. We had full data, and somehow they managed to lose a couple of days. So that's why there's this break in the thing. So, but it's more or less correct. I mean, that's essentially where we were. 2019 was a poor year for us. We dropped significantly in subscribers, but 2020 has been pretty good. We're just under 200, 199. So I mean, we rose from 2019 and back up to something of a fairly decent number in 2020, so that's not too shabby. Not as high as our huge numbers in 2018. We had a very good year in 2018, but it's kind of dropped a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of where things were at. So if you look at impressions, our impressions have gone up every single year. We had 700,000, 864,000 in 2019, over 1 million in 2020. So, again, we keep growing. There's nothing wrong with those numbers. And then, of course, click-through rate isn't really a measure of growth. It's just kind of what percentage of time people click on your videos when they're presented with your thumbnail. So, we sit right around 4 to 5%. Is pretty typical for us. So, in terms of how we did this year, I have no complaints. It's been a very good year for us. We're not a super growth channel like some people. Some people, go start a YouTube channel and 3 months later they have 100,000 subscribers and stuff like that. That's never going to be us. I don't have the kind of dynamic personality, I suppose, or that is required to get those kind of numbers, and also the type of videos that we do. The 100% completion long play videos is very much a niche market. I realize that it's not for everyone, and so it's not going to grow at the rate that some channels do. I never expected to, so that's fine. Let's talk about the games that we had last year versus the games that we have this year. So let's see if we close this out. Let's go into our content. So this is a list of videos. Some of these haven't actually been published as I'm recording this yet, but they'll be up in a couple of days. So let's go down a little bit because this is out of order because they aren't published. This is more or less in order. So we currently have 5 games going: Yakuza 0, Batman Arkham Knight, God of War Goes to Sparta, Dying Light, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Last year at this time, we were playing Yakuza 0 Batman Origins rather than Batman Knight. We were still playing a God of War game. I don't remember which one we were playing specifically, but probably one of the early ones, God of War 1 or 2 maybe. We were just finishing up Horizon Zero Dawn, and that was replaced by Dying Light. And then, of course, we were still playing Red Dead Redemption 2. So really, guys, there hasn't been a whole lot of turnover in games, really, in this year. We've turned over a lot of God of War games, but it's the same game, basically just a different iteration of that game. So it's kind of been a static year in terms of games. For the most part, I mean, we did start up Dying Light. But, you know, which is kind of not really good for my channel, to be honest. Your channel does best when you do switch up games a lot. And we haven't done a lot of that this year, so I've probably hurt myself a little bit by playing these really long games. You know, it is what it is. I'm not going to dwell on it too much, but that's, you know, that's the honest truth. We're playing some pretty long games right now. Let's talk about where we are in terms of our games right now. So Yakuza 0 is actually coming to an end. We are almost 95% of the way through the completion list in that game. So I expect to be done with that fairly shortly. You know, it's going to go pretty fast as we get towards the end. I'm done with most of the grind in that game. So, you know, we'll get there pretty soon, I think. Batman Arkham Knight is a long game, and we're maybe halfway through the story right now. We're not halfway through the challenges. We're nowhere near. We're more like about 15% of the way through the challenges. We're going to do, after we finish the story of that game, we're going to go to the DLC and play all those. Those are going to take an episode apiece, and then we'll probably go into New Game Plus and play through that. That'll give me some time to get the challenges done as well. So, because we got a lot of those to get through. There's like almost 500 of them. And I've finished a little less than 100 for sure. I think I was at 70 some last time I looked. God of War, Ghost of Sparta is nearly finished. In fact, I have finished that. I just haven't, we haven't finished posting them yet. So I'm about to start up God of War Ascension, which is the last game in the series that is the original series. And then we'll move on from there to the reboot after we finish Ascension. I'm given to understand that Ascension is actually a relatively not long game. It's longer than Ghost of Sparta is. Let's put it that way. Ghost of Sparta we will finish in 8 episodes. You can see here that I've got episode 5 published. Episode 6, actually, but I just published episode 6 this morning. So there's 2 more episodes to go for that, and then we will move on to the next game, which is Ascension, which probably will take us 10 or 12 episodes to finish. Then we got Dying Light. Dying Light is actually slowly coming to an end. We're getting most of the way through that, actually. I don't think there's a whole lot left there either, so that one's going to end relatively soon, probably in the next couple of months. Red Dead Redemption, of course, is just going to go forever. Not even thinking about that one. We're probably about halfway through it, to be honest. I kind of assumed around 150 episodes, and I'm right around episode 75. Well, right here, it's episode 72. 73, well, 72 is the last one that I have uploaded. 71 was the last one we've published. 72 hasn't uploaded yet, or hasn't published yet. But yeah, I'm right around the halfway point on that, I think. That's a pretty fair assessment. I think just based on where we are in the chapters, where we are with the collectibles, all that kind of stuff. So I think we're right around the halfway point. So yeah, that's where things are at. I would expect by the end of the year, we're probably still playing Red Dead Redemption. We may still be playing Batman Arkham Knight, but the rest of the games will have changed. So there should be some turnover with regard to all that. So that's where things are at with the current games. So yeah, that's pretty good. Let's talk about where we are in subscribers. We're at 990 right at the moment that I record this. That's a bit down actually from where it was. We did hit 995, and it's dropped a little bit during this last couple of weeks for some reason. I don't know if YouTube is doing a sub purge or what. They do that from time to time, but they just did one in October or November, and so for them to do another one so quickly would be kind of unusual. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just losing subs or what. But anyway, we are very close to 1,000. I assume that we will hit that in the next month or two. I thought maybe we would hit it in December, but clearly that's not going to be the case. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later on, about where things are at with that. But anyway, 990 guys, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. I'm not displeased about that at all. Like I said, I'm not a super dynamic person, and I understand that my channel goes slower than some people's. 990 or 1,000 subs is, if you would ask me 2 years ago if we were going to hit 1,000, I was kind of doubting it. So, you know, I'm not displeased. I'm super grateful for all you guys. You know, thank you so much for the support that you've shown to this channel. It's pretty awesome. To hit this close to 1,000, it's amazing. I kind of never expected to get that high, and I don't know if we'll hit 1,000 or not. I kind of assume that we will, because it's only 10 subs away. But I mean, wow, that's amazing to me. That there's that many people that want to watch my channel. That's just awesome. Thank you very much, guys. I don't know what else to say. The next topic is Patreon. I want to talk a little bit about the Patreon money that I've collected during the year. To be honest, so last year when I think last year was almost the first year we started Patreon, or maybe it was the year before. But I had spent some money. I had bought a PlayStation 3, which is a console that I had never had before, which is why we've gotten to play God of War games. And actually, there was something else that we played on PlayStation 3, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. So yeah, we've gotten some games out of the Patreon money that otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do. I also bought some channel art and the intro and all that kind of stuff. So I have put it to good use. Now this year, I really haven't spent it on anything. It's pretty much sitting in an account. I'll probably use some of it to buy a PlayStation 5 when they become readily available, when there's, you know, they're not being bought up by all the scalpers. I'll wait till they're readily available in the stores. I'm not going to pay a scalper to buy a PS5, and I just don't need it right now. But I will eventually get one. I kind of want to play a particular game on the PS5, although I have it on the PS4. I kind of would like to play it on the PS5, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's where that's at. I mean, the money's just sitting in an account. I haven't done anything with it this year. I've saved it up. I've put some of my own money in there as well. So it's you know, we've got a little bit of money in there. So I will be using it for the channel. That's what I do with it. I don't use it to pay my bills or anything like that. It's used to do something for the channel, whether it's a console or a channel art or whatever it may be. It's something to improve our stuff. I've got some pretty good equipment now. I don't think I need to buy any like recording equipment, but if I do, you know, it's there. That's what it's for. So yeah, that's where that's gone. Real quick, I want to talk about the technical series. I think I talked about this last year as well, but just so for those of you who are here for the technical stuff, I plan on continuing that. I don't know what's happening with the C++ game engine thing. Honestly, I don't know. I really, really wanted to keep going with that, but it just takes so much time, and I just don't have the time to do it. I just did recently a technical series on Unreal Engine 4 using databases, which was a 3-part series. Ended up being about 2.5 hours long. And that was fun, and that kind of works out kind of well because I can do a little snippet of something that I think might be interesting to other people. Granted, that one was a very limited audience because you both have to be into Unreal Engine 4 and also have this database, which a lot of people aren't going to have. But I knew that when I recorded it. But you know, I'm working on something in UE4. And as I run across interesting things that I think other people might be interested in, I'll post something on it. If I do just little small things like that, little snippets of things rather than entire projects, that might actually work out better because, you know, it doesn't run the risk of me doing it and then not continuing it, like I've done with the C++ series. I don't know if I'm going to continue the C++ series, guys. I really don't. I may not. It just depends on my schedule and how much time I have. which is really not a lot. So, so yeah, let me know if you guys like the technical series. If you want me to continue on with the UE4 stuff, or if you want me to do something different, I'm willing to do them. I enjoy them, so just let me know. Future games. What are we going to do in the future? So I've already kind of touched on this. We're going to continue on with the God of War games until we finish those. There's really only 2 more at this point, Ascension and then the Reboot. The Reboot is a long game, and it's I'll probably be playing that for a while, so I'm not going to worry too much. And then I guess there's a sequel coming out after that in the not too distant future, so we'll be set for the Wednesday series for a little while. Beyond that, I mean, we're finishing up Yakuza. I'm probably not going to play any more Yakuza games. Not that I didn't enjoy Yakuza, but I'm pretty much done with it. I think I might have even touched on this last year in the same thing I was talking about. But it's such a grindy game. I have never in my life played such a grindy game. It is massively grindy. If you want 100% that game, it is, be prepared to grind for a long time, to the point where I had to start pulling out a cheat program, which I never do. I don't remember the last time I used a cheat program. So if I'm using a cheat program, there's some grind there. Not to win the game, but just to get past the grind stuff. So I don't think I'm going to do any more Yakuza games. I think I'm going to move on to something else. I have something in mind. I'm not going to say what, because again, the reason I don't talk about future IPs that I'm going to play is because one, I have a whole list of them, and that list may change until the day you see it go up on the channel. That's subject to change. Once I start a series, then that's when I'm going to play. But until it actually starts, I could change it the day before, and if I get excited about something different that comes along. So that's why I don't talk about them, because I could say, well, I'm going to play this series, and then the time comes for that to come up, and it's something totally different appears, right? And then people are disappointed, and so I don't want to do that to people. That's the reason why I don't talk about the games that I'm going to play that are not part of a series. I'll talk about the future games that I'm going to play in a particular series, like the God of War Ascension is the next game I'm going to play in the God of War slot. Because that's pretty much set in stone. But beyond that, I generally won't talk about them for that reason. So yeah. I have some games in mind. I have gotten some suggestions from both my patrons and from non-patrons. Patrons get more of a consideration than non-patrons do, just because that's the nature of things, guys. That's what they're paying for. And so, if they have a suggestion, I'm going to take theirs kind of first before I take the non-patron suggestions. But if you're not a patron, that's, don't be scared to offer suggestions. I will take them into account, and I will do them if it's something that piques my interest. It has to pique my interest. I've had to tell both non-patrons and patrons no about a particular game because it just wasn't something that was interesting to me, so that happens. I can't guarantee that I'm going to use your suggestion. If it's not something that I want to play, I won't play a game that I don't want to play, because that's going to come through as a poor recording. If I'm not into it, you're going to be able to tell. And so it wouldn't be good for the channel. It wouldn't be good for the game you want to see, for me to play something that I just don't care about. So I have to care about it before I'll play it. So that's the way that works. But anyway, speaking of this, Patreon, I have a couple of patrons. One of them didn't have a Patreon account and asked for PayPal. If you guys, for some reason, want to support this channel, and you don't want to do Patreon, I do have a PayPal thing. Just ask me for it. I will send it over. I don't really advertise it because I don't want to make it a super common thing. It's a little bit extra work for me, but It's totally fine. I understand that not everybody wants to do accounts on every last thing, but if PayPal works better for you, then just let me know. I'm perfectly happy to set it up for you and do it. In fact, I've already set it up. I've got one person going through PayPal. You get all the same benefits that you get on Patreon. So I've worked it out so that patrons get, in addition to the suggestions thing, they also get early access to the videos up to a week in advance, I think. I usually send out the early Patreon links on Sundays, and for the videos that go up Monday through Friday. So in the case of Yakuza 0, they get it a day in advance, but in the case of Red Dead Redemption, it's like 5 days in advance. So it's a thing that they get, and of course they get advertisement from me as well. I mentioned their names at the end. So if you're interested, go ahead and do that. And if you want to do PayPal, just let me know. Okay. This is the next thing that I wanted to talk about. And this is potentially the bad news that's coming. So I mentioned that we had hit 995 in terms of subscribers. And if we take a look at our YouTube statistics here, this is over on Social Blade. You can see that if we go to full monthly statistics, we hit 995. Well, okay, so this isn't quite right. We hit 994 on the 17th. It actually hit 995, but Patreon only updates their thing like once a day, so it didn't pick it up. And by the time they did it again, I'd already dropped by 2 or something. So we did hit 995, and then it dropped. It's been dropping pretty steadily ever since, from 995 down to 990, which is a little bit frustrating, I have to say. It's one thing if you're like at 920 and you drop by 5. It's not fun, but it's not a big deal. When you're that close to 1,000, and I don't know why it's a big deal, because 1,000 is just it's just a number, right? But it does become, it's a YouTube thing, right? You get monetization, you get a community tab, etc., etc. So it is a milestone, and when it gets that close, you kind of start to watch it pretty close. And then for it to start dropping like this, it's pretty disheartening. It's pretty frustrating. So all that is my way of saying that things have not been really great this last couple of weeks in terms of subscribers. In fact, we hit 995 on the 17th, and this is now the 30th as I'm recording this. So 13 days ago, is that right? Yeah, 13 days ago. So nearly 2 weeks ago, we have not only not moved, we've gone down. In fact, I first hit 990 on the 14th, so that was 16 days ago. So we're over 2 weeks since we hit this level that's basically stopped over 2 weeks ago. I mean, it's gone up and down, but it's basically where I was 2+ weeks ago. So that's not so good. That's kind of frustrating. So because of that, not just because of that, but also because of my schedule. Just so you guys know, I do work full-time. I have a full-time job at a place that I've worked at for 20+ years now. Yeah, and it's full-time. It's Monday through Friday. It's 9 hours a day. They say it's 8 hours a day. That's a lie. It's really 9 hours because there's an hour lunch break in there that you don't get credit for. It's really longer than that because there's the getting ready time and the driving over there time. And so really it takes up about 10 hours of my day, 5 days a week, right? It's a lot of time. I also have my family that, I want to spend time with. So YouTube does take up, I would say, I've calculated this out before. It probably takes up about 30 to 35 hours a week to put these videos out to you guys. The way I do them, these 5 hours of videos, roughly 5 hours of videos a week. I think, and combined with that, the fact that we've suddenly, for some reason, hit a brick wall and stopped, and in fact have been going backwards for the last couple of weeks. And has been kind of super frustrating. I've decided that I'm going to take a little bit of a break from YouTube. Maybe just a couple of weeks off, maybe longer, maybe 3 weeks or a month. I don't know. I think I need to take some time off. It's been a rough couple of weeks, for sure. And it's just, I think it's time to step back from YouTube just a little bit. Not permanently. I don't mean I'm gone, but I need to take a little bit of time off and just for my own mental health, and just step away and kind of maybe even reflect on the future of the channel a little bit. What I'm going to do, whether we're going to keep the same format, whether I'm going to drop the number of games that I do down to something a little less, or change stuff up. I don't really know. That's why I'm taking some time off to think about it. I think I need the time. It's gotten to be too much of it's taken over my life, really. And it's too much. I've got other stuff going on, and I need to focus on some of that for a little bit, I think. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some time off. Now, what does this mean for my patrons who actually pay to see my content? That's kind of not fair to you guys that are my patrons. So what I'm going to do is suggest to you guys that you take a month off as well. Cancel your subs for a month or so. I will not penalize you guys for that. I will continue to advertise your channels on every new video that I do. So say if I come back in 2 weeks, and you've taken a month off, you'll get the other 2.5 weeks for free, basically. You'll still get the early access, all the same things that you would normally get, but you just don't have to pay for it. And that only goes for my current subscribers, guys, my current patrons. You can't jump in here right now and get that freebie. So I want to make it fair to them. They're paying for content that I produce, and so I want to make sure that they get what they're paying for. And if I'm not producing content, then they shouldn't have to pay for it, right? So I'm going to suggest that you guys take the month off. Don't pay for January, I guess we're coming into. Or if it's already gone through, I don't know when Patreon does their thing, but if it's already gone through, then don't pay for the next month. I'll keep track of it. There's only a couple of you guys, so I can do that pretty easily. So yeah, that would be my suggestion to you guys while I'm taking a break. I do have some videos that are ready for next week. I've got all of next week's videos ready to go. So I'm going to upload those on. Usually I do them on Friday. I'll try to get those done. But then I'm not going to record this weekend and into the next weekend and so on and so forth until I've decided that I'm ready to come back. So this is not a permanent goodbye. It's just a break. I need a break. I need a significant break. I've taken weeks off before. This needs to be a little bit longer, I think. I'm ready to take some time off, and we'll see how the channel does. If I'm not producing content, I'm certainly not going to grow subscribers at my normal rate. But if it continues to plummet the way it is, we'll see how things go. So yeah, that's the plan. I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I may go a week and decide, that's enough. I really miss it. I'm ready to come back, and we'll do that. But I'm really thinking more like 2 weeks. 2 weeks is probably the best bet. If it goes 3, it goes 3. We'll just see how it goes. I'll come back when I'm ready to come back. I've got some other stuff I want to get done. I've got the UE4 stuff that I want to work on, and things like that. So, yeah. All right, guys. Normally, I generally put in a behind-the-scenes kind of thing in this thing, but I think because I spent so much time on the break and the reasons for the break, then plus I don't really have anything to show you guys behind the scenes. I think I've shown you everything that I do behind the scenes. If you want to see that, go back to the previous annual reviews, and you can see exactly what I do. It hasn't really changed, not significantly anyway. I've had some challenges with the editing software that I've used. It's been a challenging year for that, but I think I finally found a workflow that works. So even though it's taking a little more time than it used to take, because there's some extra steps to get the videos ready for you guys. But yeah, I figured it out. I figured out a useful workflow that actually works for us. So yeah. Okay, gang. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. I hope that explains everything. If you have questions, let me know. I will answer them as always. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, and let's all hope that 2021 is a great year, better than 2020. 2020 was a sucky year. Let's just all be honest about it. It was a dumpster fire. Hopefully they roll out this vaccine and we can all get back to our normal lives and not have to isolate quite as much as we have been. Be better for everyone, right? So anyway, I will see you guys in 2021. Love y'all, and take care. So bye.